So our specialty is color accurate displays. We also do some color management devices, but displays, reference monitors is really our primary business.
There's been a lot of monitor companies around. Why did you guys get started?
We got started because we wanted to offer a more affordable alternative that also would make kind of reference monitoring more accessible to more people in the industry. So that's been kind of our goal. And I kind of grew up around this. My dad was an old Barco guy, and we started this company together. So I've known that all my whole life, basically. So yeah.
What have you got that's new at NAB?
So the most exciting thing is our XMP series of new monitors. So those are quantum dot OLED monitors. They're the first professional quantum dot OLED monitors available. And quantum dot OLED is a really exciting technology because it's extremely bright. So we have 1,000 and 2,000 nit models. It's very color accurate, and it's a little bit of a paradigm shift in the industry in that you are dealing with large format displays that can really be used as the primary reference monitor. So now you can have color correction suites where you have a 55 or a 65-inch monitor that both the colorists and the clients can look at the same time, and no more two monitor suites are necessarily needed. So kind of an exciting change in the industry.
Now there's a lot of ways of lighting a pixel.
Sure.
What makes OLED so important?
So OLED offers phenomenal contrast ratio. That's one of the biggest things is that you have, we have models that do 1.5 million to 1 or 2 million to 1 contrast ratio. So that's one of the biggest things they do. The other nice thing about quantum dot OLED specifically is that it has the best off-axis viewing of any technology. So that means clients and colorists don't have to be sitting really near to each other, right? You can have a client sitting off on the couch 45 degrees off-axis, and it's still going to look the same as what the colorist is seeing. And that's a huge, huge benefit that you don't get with most other technologies.
One of the comments I hear from a lot of editors is although HDR is, quote, everywhere, they're not editing HDR projects. Yeah. Are you seeing an increase in take-up of HDR monitors?
Yeah, so it's definitely changing. One of the biggest things has been how cost prohibitive HDR monitors are. Typically a 31-inch monitor was running $30,000 to $35,000 for a true HDR reference grade monitor. What we've done is we now, with the XMP 310, have a monitor that's under $11,000. So still an investment, but it's not really that far off from what a good grade 1 SDR monitor would cost you, and you can now do HDR with that. So with that being more accessible, I think we're going to see it more in editorial. You're going to see more on-set monitoring of HDR because it's something people can actually somewhat afford these days now.
One of the things Blackmagic announced here at the show is a 12K camera.
Yeah.
How are we going to monitor a 12K image?
So I think that's really more about acquisition. I don't think anybody's really looking to deliver 12K footage to the home, but more pixels for acquisition is always a good thing. It gives you the ability to crop things, to recenter things. Those are big benefits. It also helps with noise management and a lot of other issues you might encounter. So 4K, 8K, 12K, 16K, whatever it is, acquisition is great. I think on the display side, unless you're going over 100 inches, there's not much relevance or importance to going beyond 4K. 4K is kind of a good resolution for monitors unless you go to those massive, massive sizes.
One of the challenges you have as a developer is to keep track of where the industry is going. Yeah. Guess the future, as it were.
Yeah, exactly.
What trends are you following?
So one of the exciting things that we're looking at is whether we're going to see more increased demand for higher luminance displays, right? So right now, almost all masters are being made for 1,000 nits, but there's been some push for 2,000 or 4,000 nit masters. So that's why we now have a 2,000 nit display, and what I'm looking forward to is the quantum dot OLED technology keeps improving over time, keeps getting brighter. I think we may eventually see that technology get to even higher peak luminance levels. The question will be, does Hollywood take advantage of it or not? Because right now, we find that in Hollywood specifically, it can be really hard pressed to get a color to go even over 200 or 300 nits because everybody's fallen in love with the SDR grade. So I'm curious to see, as we have younger people come into the industry, if brighter becomes a preference, because right now it's still not really a huge preference in Hollywood. So,
for people that haven't heard of Flanders Scientific or your products, what should they know? What's important?
So what we're really known for is color accuracy, and one of the most important things that we've released in the last couple of years is our entire product lineup now supports what we call AutoCal. So this AutoCal system allows you to plug a probe directly into the monitor, no computer or software is needed, and it does a complete volumetric capture of the uncalibrated state of the display, saves that to the non-volatile memory, and then you can make thousands of different combinations of EOTF, color, temperature, gamut, and it will mathematically calculate that instantly on the spot and apply it. just makes calibration a lot easier. Now, we still support third-party partners like CalMan and ColorSpace for people who prefer that. So it's a very open calibration architecture, but it also has simplified things a lot with the AutoCal capability to not have to be a calibration expert anymore to calibrate your display.